10 signs that your soul is about to reset. My friends, this is an important reminder for anyone who's feeling what we'll be talking today about. But firstly, what is the soul? Each individual possesses a unique and eternal essence, which is commonly referred to as the soul. It represents your authentic self and the core values that define you. So these senses of individuality are deeply rooted within your soul, serving as an extension of the Great Spirit or divine mind, which has manifested itself in a unique form. So in this way, your soul becomes like a fingerprint of the divine. But what does it mean that it is going to reset? There's many different reasons it is going to reset, usually because it has a desire to start a fresh new beginning, or maybe to reevaluate one's foundational energy pattern that includes also changing belief systems or values. And usually it has also a desire to redefine the purpose or significance of certain aspects of its life. So often when our soul decides that, it's actually a part of us, like we are it, but also we have created our own identity that should become more of a reflection of the soul. But it's obviously a part of the process of self-research. So when we kind of go too far out of our path, like out of our life's purpose or life's calling or heart's calling, at some point we may recognize that something weird started happening within ourselves. So we start to sense it, feel it emotionally, mentally, and we experience certain signs we'll be talking today about, that our soul decides to reset itself so we can become more familiar with what is our path, what truly is meant for us, and where we've kind of went off the track. So the first sign you start to experience when your soul is going through a reset is a sense of disconnection from yourself and also from people around you. You start to feel like you would be pulled away from people. You would be pulled away from everything that's happening in your life. But even when you're alone, you don't feel a deep connection with yourself. You almost start to feel like you would be divided, like this is yourself, your ego, and you don't sense this connection with life. It often happens to many people when they say, well, I used to be more spiritually evolved, but right now I feel like I've made 10 steps backwards. That's often how we experience this first sign that your soul is going through a reset. It's most probably because you've been doing too many things that were kind of against you. Like maybe you haven't been true to yourself. Maybe you haven't lived your life based by your values, or maybe you haven't have had a clarity around your values. It often happens, something like that. So don't, be so hard on yourself because of that. You're just finding out what truly matters to you and how to kind of organize yourself the way that your life makes more meaning to yourself, and how to turn towards what is the most valuable to yourself. So this is the first sign that many times people experience, and often it leads us into the second one, which is a loss of this deep sense of joy and loss of a sense of passion. People start to feel less driven to do certain things, because we need to put ourselves into a path of self-research once again to notice, okay, where we've lost ourselves, what happened. Maybe you've been through a certain breakup or through any kind of a falling, like maybe you felt like your life started falling apart and you had no idea what to do, but you were still kind of living your life normally. You've started noticing your body's feeling tired, but you were still pushing yourself until you've started to sense this disconnection, and then eventually loss of joy, loss of passion. You had no feelings of joy for anything you've been doing before. It's a sign that you're going through a reset, a very important phase to get yourself back into a path of alignment. So often it leads us into the third sign, which is constant worry. You start to feel this persistent concern, a sense of anxiety for anything, and you don't know what's going on. Like nothing just makes any sense. Like you just feel anxious for no reasons. You feel worried for no reasons. It means that your vibrational frequency fallen down towards really these low emotions of survival. And when this happens, it means that our battery is really running out, and that's when soul takes care of kind of its own will, and it pulls you away from your daily, let's say, habits, and it says to you, hey, wake up, because how you're living is not helpful for any of us. It's not helpful for us, it's not helpful for people around you. You're just not taking care of yourself. So a constant worry and anxiety is often a sign that your soul is going through a reset. And it leads us to the fourth sign, which is emotional outbursts and tension. You start to feel these emotional outbursts, like something within you is boiling and you're just being irritated, you're displaying heightened emotional responses, and you're like a bomb that is about to explode. So when this happens to you, and many of you may be feeling this way, it means that you are a valuable being here. You're a valuable part of the human family. But you've forgotten about your value. You've forgotten about how unique you are. You've forgotten about your own gifts, what you could contribute, what you could give. You've forgotten, or maybe nobody showed you that. So don't be too hard on yourself in this phase. There's just a lot of, let's say, boiling energy that needs to go out, but at the same time you need to recharge yourself. So this is the phase where you need to become very, very gentle with yourself and set boundaries in your life. Like if you're feeling this, set boundaries in your life and kind of disappear from your circles and reevaluate what you've been doing, what you're doing, like how you're living your life. Because this is very important phase where your soul is reminding you, hey, you've forgotten about what you've been so joyful as a kid, what you've been so passionate as a kid, what you've been so curious and enthusiastic as a kid. Now, because of all your responsibilities, you've forgotten about this. So just refocus once again on what matters to you so you can recharge your soul, recharge your batteries. So often when we don't do anything about it, it only leads us to the next sign, which kind of manifests as lack of feeling, lack of emotion, lack of sensing anything. Like suddenly you just don't feel anything anymore. Like you don't feel any joy for anything, you don't feel any passion for anything. You don't even know if you feel sad or if you feel happy or if you feel okay or whatever. No, this is again just a part of the process. You're going through a phase where you're just finding yourself once again. Often when people get in this phase, through synchronistic events, they come across certain spiritual teachings, certain spiritual traditions, or certain spiritual books that give them answers they couldn't find anywhere else. And often it most probably happened to you something similar. Like many people right now on the planet Earth are going through a spiritual awakening, most probably because they've come to this sign where they've recognized, okay, my soul is resetting and I really need to start living a new life. I want to stop living my old life and I want to start living my new life, which will be supported with more joy, and I will be doing more of what I value and what I want to do. So I want to be like my own boss in my life. And it only happens because at some point we've drained ourselves to such a degree that then we had no sense for anything. Like everything kind of became nonsense, right? So when you feel like that, know that it's just a byproduct because you've exhausted yourself. you've exhausted yourself, and it led you to what we will use as the sixth sign, which is the sleep disturbance and restlessness. So nothing can, it feels like, doesn't matter how much you sleep, nothing can recharge you. It's again a part of the process. It's again a sign that your soul is going through a reset, and it is taking you away from the path you've been walking, because it was not the path that was really healthy and fulfilling to you. And you need to reset yourself so you can kind of recalibrate yourself to the path that is more meaningful, that is more purposeful, that is more joyful for you. So when you're experiencing, like, out of everything we've been talking about, this sleep disturbance and restlessness, know that it's all because you've exhausted yourself. It's all because you've been through all these signs that you've been ignoring about yourself, maybe because you've hoped that it will just be okay, that everything will be okay like always. Well, at some point your body says no to you, and you need to then pay the price for ignoring yourself. So when this happens, a great remedy is to start certain before bed routines, start certain affirmations before bed, start maybe reflecting, have a gratitude journal, start meditating, start doing certain yoga and certain practices that put you into a more peaceful state before bed. So you start giving a sign to your body that you're ready for a change, that you're ready to start a new life. And when you wake up, start some morning practices, like some morning movement, some morning affirmations, some morning yoga, a workout, whatever resonates with you. Be gentle with yourself, but also be kind of strict with yourself, so you don't be lazy. Also, yeah, feel lazy when you need to. It's completely okay. But start a life that really speaks to you, that really resonates with you. And sleep as much as you need. When we exhaust ourselves, when we are tired from our own lives because we've been living lives that were boring and that were completely out of our control and that were completely out, like lacking joy, lacking passion, lacking enthusiasm, of course your body is tired. So reset, recharge, sleep as much as you need. And especially if you've been sleeping too little, you need to, make sure that you get enough amount of rest. So be kind towards yourself. Your body needs that. And often it leads us to the seventh sign that will show to you that your soul is going through a reset. It manifests as a lot of physical stress, of course, because our body may be restless. You may feel more stress. A lot of, many things may irritate you. Many things may bother you. So make sure that this stress will not be a burden for others. Sometimes it will be. But it's important to set boundaries and, if possible, put yourself onto a certain retreat. Like start doing massage therapies, start doing some saunas, take yourself on a vacation, do something for yourself, love yourself. Well, stress from your body shows that it's just being under pressure for too long. And you need to give some honor to your body. You need to give some appreciation to your body. Show to your body that you love yourself, that you appreciate yourself, that you really want the best for yourself. And if that is true, then also do it, right? Give that to yourself. Many people experience burnouts and they experience constant physical stress from anything. Like they just meet a person and it irritates them. It's a sign that your soul is going through a reset and you will need to change something drastically in your life. If that's happening to you, my friend, well, look at it as an opportunity for a breakthrough. Like you're ready for something new. It's not, it's not something dark or negative. It's just a wake-up call from the universe. Look, you deserve so much more. So look at it as something incredible, like I'm ready for so much more. So many people wake up because they have jobs they hate, they have people around them that don't notice their worth, and they see it as something like to wake up from, like I have enough of this, and they wake up and they change their lives, they move to new places, they change their relationships, they start everything fresh, and suddenly they start to feel refreshed, right? They start to feel like a new person. So do something for yourself that you will be grateful for in the future, like your future self will be proud of today. Know there is already a future self that is calling you into this kind of a change, and because your soul is aware of that, your soul is aware that you can manifest yourself into being whoever you want, it is going through a reset to remind you, hey, you can live much better life than you're living right now. So often, because people ignore that, they get to the point, which we'll use as the 8th sign, where they start neglecting themselves. They start neglecting themselves, their self-care. They start neglecting their emotions, their feelings, their mindset, their values. They start neglecting all of that, and it only leads them deeper into misery and depression. So it's a sign that your soul is calling you to do a reset, to start caring for yourself, to start noticing that you are valuable. But of course, many people here may say, well, nothing makes any sense. Yeah, of course, nothing makes any sense. How you've been living, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but I know I was there as well. I know how it feels like when you just don't want to wake up from your bed. You don't want to do anything for yourself. You feel like your life is falling apart. Well, there's a law in this universe which says as soon as you will start doing something you like to do, you will get more energy to do what you like to do. As soon as you start doing something you're joyful about, you will get more energy to be joyful about. To give you one example, sometimes I feel like I don't want to paint. Like I feel lazy and I don't want to paint. But as soon as I sit behind the canvas, I start to feel inspired to paint. When I start painting, I almost can't stop. So it's this law. You only get energy for what you will use it when you start showing up as you're willing to use that energy. You will not get energy if you don't know how to use it, right? Coffee sometimes does this. Like you get energy, and sometimes if you don't know how to use it, you may get anxious because of coffee. But if you know how to use this fuel that you got from the coffee or any other substance, it will just feel like a flow. So make sure that you start taking care of yourself, right? And it leads us to the 9th sign that you're going through a reset. Your soul is going through a reset, which is social withdrawal. You kind of withdraw yourself from social activities. You really feel called to be alone, to spend more time alone, to really be with yourself and notice what you value, notice what you like to do. This is a very important phase. This is a phase where many people experience an incredible spiritual awakening. They recognize, for my whole life, I've been someone who I don't want to be. I've been a certain persona that is really not me. I've been wearing a mask that I really want to put on, and I want to really become who I came here to be. So they start to understand once again their incredible qualities, their incredible strengths, their incredible uniqueness, authenticity that before they were not aware of. Why? Because they were too distracted. So stop distracting yourself and start taking time for yourself, right? Ask yourself at this point what you really like to do, like what makes you happy. Really, what makes you happy? Like to me, being in nature, being on my bike, painting, sharing my experiences, deep thinking, writing my thoughts down, meditating, spending time with people I love, having deep conversations, working on my business. Those are things that really make me happy, and every time I will be doing something from this list, I will be happy. I will be connected with who I am, and I will be expressing myself the way I truly want to be expressed. So this is just an example why you go into the phase of solitude, so you discover yourself. I've been through this phase. I know how it is, but it was a blessing in my life. Because of this phase, I've started painting. Because of this phase, I've started making these videos that helped millions of people. So know that your solitude phase is a blessing. Use it like that. And it leads us to the 10th sign that you're going through a reset. Your soul is going through a reset, which is often experienced as a loss of faith and loss of hope. You don't have any faith and any optimistic perspective about your future. Obviously, because of exhaustion from your old life, because of tiredness, because of too many limiting beliefs from your environment, from your social circles, from any kind of culture you came from, or whatever happened in your life, you have a loss of faith. And of course, your soul is a being of faith. It's a being of light. It's just the opposite of how you've been programmed to be. So it made you to reset yourself. Like, it said to yourself, let's go through a reset, because obviously your outlook on life is not helpful for us. Like, we've come here to evolve, we've come here to pave a way, we've come here to grow, we've come here to have an adventure. Like, let's have an adventure. You've come here to really experience the most out of life, to be expressed and to experience, to experiment. That's why you've come here. And you have a loss of faith because you've been programmed in an unhelpful way. And it's time for you to recognize, well, all these programs can change because you're not them. Like, when you use a computer is not the programs that are in. You can delete and install new programs. It's same with you. You're the essence. Don't forget that you're an authentic essence, the fingerprint of God. And you've come here to make programs for yourself that serve you, that make you happy, that make you excited, that make you joyful and blissful. So when you're experiencing lack of faith, lack of optimism, lack of any, positive outlook for the future, you're going through a reset. And eventually you will actually recognize that this phase is only here to wake you up, to recognize that actually there's so much to look forward to at this point. If you're at this point, I want to remind you that firstly, it's all part of the journey, but design a vision for your future. And most probably also at this point, you will start through synchronicities, meeting right books, right people, right videos. Maybe this video is just this calling for you, that there is something greater to look up for. In Japanese, there's a word kensho, which kinda means like a moment of enlightenment that happens after a process of falling, where you begin to recognize that all this falling was only happening so you would discover a deeper essence of what life is all about. So you've been falling for some time now, only to recognize that you've been living a life that was not fulfilling to yourself, and you deserve much more, and you're here to experience much more. So all this process was only leading you to growth, and you were not growing before. So it's time for you to start growing. And to start growing, you need knowledge, right? You need new information. That's why at this point you may feel drawn into incredible new books and videos and information and whatever. And new knowledge will lead you into transformation. Like, start letting go of the old stuff, of the old beliefs, of the old ideas, and embody this new one and practice them and turn them into action and see where it will take you. This is a wonderful process that will lead you into an incredible new growth, something your soul is really making you do right now, because it already knows all possible futures for you, and it only wants the best one for you. So that's why you needed to go through all these signs we've been talking today about. So I hope you found great value in today's video, and of course for this video I have been sharing with you the painting of the phoenix Phoenix is rising, which resonates so much with this topic. So if you feel like a phoenix, yeah, I'm with you. I feel like that as well. And to anyone who would need this kind of a reminder, you can actually buy prints of my art on our store, AttractPassion.com. If this painting resonates with you or any other, go and check out AttractPassion.com, and you can use Passion15 code to get 15 off on your first order. Also, to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one to kind of elevate your journey or to find some missing links that you maybe can't find right now, I'm also offering this coaching session. So click on the link in the description of this video and book a session with me. So I'm excited to meet you, and my friends, till next time, one love.